Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cody Crafts channel. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you to those of you who subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you prefer shorter or longer videos in the comments. I'm still kind of figuring out how long I want to try and make videos. If you guys put these on like in the background while you do crafts or chores, maybe you prefer something a little bit longer. That's usually what I have going on YouTube when I'm doing chores. But let me know. Either way, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, and thank you so much for hopefully coming back to the new video. As you can see, we've got 2 full bins of crochet this week, so we've got a lot to get through. We'll do the same thing as last week, where I'll put the pattern creator's name along the bottom of the screen as I talk about their plushies, and then we'll go from there. And then really quick intermission actually. There is going to be a completely separate polymer clay earring video coming up to show you guys the polymer clay earrings that I've been working on. But I did finish these guys. I might actually pop this clip into the polymer clay earring video, because the first 50 or so sets of earrings that I made were studs. So it was little donuts, M&M cookies, croissants, and other kind of pastries, which were really cute, really fun. And I just finished putting the findings on these guys today. So I wanted to show you guys before I put these in my inventory. And these guys are supposed to be like little bookshelves, and I tried to make like little plants. I don't know if my phone's really focusing super well, but it's supposed to be like little plants and books on the bookshelves. I didn't do resin for these guys. I actually just did the polymer clay glaze, and I did about 3 coats. I am testing out not doing resin on like all of the earrings. I think it's really nice for the studs, and I love the shine, and I love how much it like protects it. Like, it makes the earrings really hardy. But it does make it really hard for me to be able to finish really big batches, because I have to work with the resin in pretty small batches to keep it from like getting bubbles or to keep it from getting messy. And then I also have to rely a lot on the weather. I do have a UV lamp, but it just makes me feel a lot better when I can put the UV resin stuff out in the sun, because I feel like it cures it a lot more fully. I was trying to zoom in for you guys. Here we go. So anyway, just a couple pairs to finish up the studs, and let's get to the rest. Okay, so first up we've got, I believe it's either called the Safari Bundle or Safari Pack. I think this might be Safari Pack. But it's a really cute little like hand-sized safari animals. And I believe I made some of each type. So I made 3 elephants. And we'll put this guy back there. Super cute. And then I made, continuing with the gray theme, I made 3 little rhinos. And this is a really great pattern pack. So all the different animals have the same body shape. And then you surface crochet everything else on, except for the snouts. You do have to, so for this one you do surface crochet everything on. I also did another bundle that I'll show you guys in a little bit in the video that was called Safari Bundle and or Pack. I don't know. They both have very similar names, but they're very different looking patterns, and on the other one there is a little bit of sewing. But this one is no sew. So there's the 3 rhinos. Okay, and then up next we did some hippos, and I did add little toenails. So in the pattern, she adds like a ton of details to these guys. She does like blush, and she does like little pink pieces to the ears, and she gives everybody little toenails. I didn't go that in depth because these guys are going to be in my little bit bin, which means I do have to keep them under a certain amount of time. That way I can still sell them for the same price. But super cute, super chubby. We love those. So there's 3 hippos, and then I was kind of dreading doing the lions, because the lions have the mane, and you're supposed to do So first of all, he's super cute. We love him. But you do have to do the mane, and it's like a loop stitch, and you're supposed to do 4 to 5 rows of the loop stitch. I just did 2 because I think it's enough, and like I said, I need to keep these guys in a pretty short amount of time to make so that I can sell them for a little bit cheaper. So because I was dreading making the lions and I put it off for so long, I thought it would be a good challenge for myself to make 4 instead of 3, just to prove to myself that it isn't that bad, and that, yeah, I don't know, that it wasn't like worth procrastinating. And once I was making them, I was like having a good time. I batch make things, so I make all the bodies, then I add the details, and then I was doing the mane last. So it wasn't bad. We'll put him up here. Now I do have an ugly duckling. The first lion that I made, you guys, I don't know, like I forgot what a loop stitch was, so he's kind of balding. He's not doing okay, but he's still really cute, and I was like, maybe it's like an adolescent, right? Maybe he's just starting to get his mane in, and he's doing his best, but he's a little, if you couldn't see him next to the other guys, he's kind of balding, and it's okay. We still love him. There's usually a couple ugly duckling makes every week. I just forget a stitch, or I rush, or like, I don't know, something goes wrong. I try a pattern that isn't as cute as I wanted it to be, whatever it may be. Okay, so moving along. You know what, actually I'm going to show you guys the next. They're not ugly. I'm not going to make them for my markets. So I don't remember everybody's names off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. It's been a really crazy week, and I'm trying to like get ready for my shows because they're all starting this weekend, and they're back to back. But I will still put everybody's like names at the bottom of the screen. But anyway, there's this little sitting bunny pattern. It is super cute. You actually make the 2 pieces for the ears, the inside and the outside, and then you single crochet along the edge to join them. So it's a super cute pattern. You surface crochet the tail. However, I don't know what happened, but, and it's really cute, like it's a little bunny loaf. So let me put him there because I made a couple of him. I don't know what happened though, and you guys, like these bunnies took me an hour and a half to make. So I priced it as accordingly as I could because it's a really small plush. It's not that detailed. I mean, it's really cute, but it's not, you know, it doesn't have like a ton of details or a ton of stuff going on. I don't know what it is. It took me so long to make these that I just can't fathom selling or like making them for markets and like selling them for, you know, as much as I kind of need to for an hour and a half's worth of work. And an hour and a half was like me kind of rushing. Like it was this guy I made first, and he took me like 2 hours, and then I was like, okay, something went wrong. And I made the second one, and he took me an hour and a half, and I was like rushing. So anyway, it's a really, really nice pattern. There's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's super cute, and if they're popular, maybe I'll try and make like 1 or 2 for each market. I can't justify making, you know, like 10 of them because it just does take me way too long. And I don't know that people will be wanting to buy them at the price that they'd have to be for the size that they are. Okay, let's take a quick break while I figure out what I'm going to show you guys next. Okay, guys, this is one of my favorite makes from the whole week. It's a little gingerbread man. Look at how freaking cute he is. He has a huge head, and he's just like, I don't know, his proportions are just so adorable. It is no-sew. You do make the bow separately and then like sew it on, but I mean, it's just like a point to like 1 or 2 points to sew on. It's not like super crazy. And then, so he's also super cute. Or I think the pattern might be like sewn, but I just modified it to like keep going and make the head off of the body. But I think it's no-sew. This is actually one of the first patterns I ever made, you guys. Like 2+ years ago, I made a gingerbread man, and my tension at the time was so loose that he ended up being like at least twice as big, maybe even bigger, which is totally fine. He was super cute, and he did eventually go home with someone who loved him a lot, but it's just so funny to see the progress of, like, how tight my tension is and, like, how much more even my stitches are. He's still made with love. Oh, that's what it is. You have to sew on the arms. I'm sorry. So the body and legs are all one piece, but you do have to sew on the arms because they kind of go out to the sides. But this guy will be going to my markets. I don't know if anybody will buy him yet because we're not really that close to the holiday season. I did kind of make him more for my holiday markets, but I'll be taking him just in case someone falls in love. Yay! Okay, and then inspired by that pattern, my roommate actually came home one of the days and he was telling me that it really looked like Isaac from Binding of Isaac. I don't know if you guys play any video games. If you do, please let me know. But here he is. I just changed the colors and then I added the tears, the stream of tears. For those of you guys who don't know, Binding of Isaac is kind of a funky game to explain, but the main character is this little boy who's always crying and you fight enemies with his tears. I know it sounds really sad, but it's actually a really fun game. So yeah, so I modified the pattern colors and stuff so I could make some little Isaacs, and they turned out super cute. I'm super happy with them. This was actually the first one I made, but his eyes were really small, so I really like the bigger eyes one. I think they're both cute, but yeah, so we've got two little Isaacs. And I will obviously still give credit to the gingerbread creator, or like pattern creator, because it's the same exact pattern, just different colors. But yeah, also if you are a gamer, let me know if you've played Isaac, or let me know what your favorite video game is. Okay, up next we've got some big boys. So these are squeeds. I think it's not Jaded Co.'s pattern or All from Jade. I think it's not Jaded Co. though. Obviously I'll put it on the screen, but it's super cute. It is no-sew, and then you surface crochet the little gills on. I like to fluff them when I'm at the shows to make them really wide. But it's super cute. You can add a little smile if you want to. I kind of like just having the little baby face on here. And then he's got the small tentacles as well as the two big like squid-shaped tentacles. Super cute. So I did make a hot pink one, and then I also made this bright orange color of the squids. I don't really want to block the guys in the back. There we go. All right, and then let's see, up next. Okay, so this one's also kind of a story. So it's super, super cute. It's a little daisy turtle. How adorable. However, I don't know. I mean, I will put the pattern. I just, fair warning, like, I'm not really sure why this person made the pattern the way that they made it, but basically every single piece is separate. So like the stomach is one piece, the body is another piece, like the petals are a separate piece, each leg is a piece, the tail is a piece, and the head is a piece. I know that sounds like a lot, but it was a lot. You have to sew it all together at the end. And I think the result is super cute and adorable, but I kind of ran into the same problem that I did with the bunnies, where this guy also took me almost 2 hours, and I think it was literally just because I was trying to like make all the pieces separately and figure out how they were going to go together, and then the sewing took forever. So he's super cute, and I priced him a little more expensive than I would normally for something this small, and you know, my turtles are a little bit more expensive usually anyway because it is so many separate pieces. I can't make more of these guys. It wasn't really enjoyable to make. I'll just put it that way. It's a fine pattern. I just want to give a fair warning that like, it's not that it's written badly or anything. It's just written in separate parts, which I think might be really good if you're a beginner, because it kind of shows you how all the different parts can be made and like put together. But if you are a, you know, seller or a small business, or even if you just kind of are like intermediate or advanced, I think you're going to be really frustrated making this pattern. That's all. Oh my god, no. He's so tiny. Here, we can put you on the squid maybe? There we go. Alright, next up is the reason that I was so confused about the... Hold on, let me I told you guys we were going to fill up the table. Okay, that works. So coming up is the... Sorry, my phone crashed. Coming up is the reason that I was telling you guys that I got confused about the Safari pack versus the Safari bundle. There we go. Because I was working on two very similar patterns this week. And so this is the other one that I was working, and I believe it's by Mel, made by Mel, or Mel Made Creations or something. But they're little safari animals, and it's a little like safari baby bundle or something. They're so freaking cute, you guys. I am obsessed. So this is the monkey. He's got his really long tail. And I didn't have like a brown, so I used this kind of like orange peachy color with this sand color. I know it's not the most contrasting, but I still think it's really cute, and it is easier to tell the difference of color in person. I think the camera's making it kind of blend in. But for these guys, you make all the separate pieces, and then you actually pretty much crochet everything into the rounds as you make it. So there's not really much sewing. However, you do have to sew on the snouts, the little like muzzles, and that's totally okay. I think that's worth it. But okay, so in comparison, you guys, this bunny took me like 2 hours, right? An hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. That's the same amount of time, pretty much. Like a little, it took me pretty much the same amount of time to make this. Like, do you see what I'm saying? The level of detail. This is cute. This is also cute. But it's like, when your customers look at, you know, what they want to buy, I just think it's kind of crazy to charge the same price for both of those items. Anyway, not trying to like be rude or anything, just trying to like give my honest opinion so that fellow makers and stuff know kind of what they're into, or like what they're walking into. Okay, and then fair warning, the other three that I made from this pattern are literally all gray. I don't know, I think I was trying to go through a lot of my gray yarn this week. But here's a rhino. And I'm really excited because I think it'll be great to have the two very different price points of like the little mini rhino versus like kind of more of like the teddy bear size rhino, I guess you could say. But I think it'll be great for the customers because they have more options. We are going to run out of space. Okay, guys, how cute is this guy? He's a little elephant. And I love the way she did the ears, so you literally crochet them into the round as you go. And then I left the tail out so I could secure it, just because I really like to secure like any pieces that get crocheted in, just to make sure if kids are playing with it a little bit more roughly or anything, like they're not going to come out. But he's so cute. We love him, the little tail. And make sure you guys are following me on Instagram or TikTok, whatever you're into, just so you can kind of keep up with like the different things that I'm making. I try to post like little videos and posts of everybody individually. That way you can usually see stuff that I'm making before the videos. I don't know. I don't know when YouTube is going to be a thing. I don't have a schedule, but we're doing our best. I am trying. Also, I know that I talk really fast when I'm nervous, so if you guys need me to slow down, please let me know in the comments. Like, it's okay. Just be nice about it. Just be like, hey, you were talking really fast. If you could slow it down, that would be helpful. I apologize. I do get nervous and I just start talking really fast as a response. Okay, and then last up from the bundle is this koala. I am also in love with the koala. Honestly, probably they're all super cute, but like the monkey and the koala were probably my favorite makes from the bundle. And the koala was so easy. The way that she did the ears and everything was super easy. You literally just do like half of a magic circle and then turn it and like add the rim, I think is what she had you do. I do think you have to sew on, yeah, so you do have to sew the ears on because it goes vertically, but it's worth it in my opinion. Super cute. This also had me Googling if koalas had tails, because I was like, wait, what about his tail? Koalas do not have tails, fun fact. At least as far as my Google search went. If my gosh, if Google told me the wrong thing, please let me know. Okay. We've just got a couple more things, guys. I think we can fit it all on the table. I think we'll be okay. So this guy is also an ugly duckling. I was just experimenting and I wanted to make like a little, I don't know, like a little buddy that you could just like put around your finger, or like that kids could just carry around. So he's a little mushroom guy. Again, I don't know, there's nothing really special about him. I was just experimenting and I wanted to make something different, so that's how he came to be. All right. Okay, and then last up, we've got my derpy burbs. Did I make these? I did make these recently. Sorry, I was trying to remember if I made these in the first video, but I think I've just been making so many of them that I'm getting confused. I try to have a ton of these. This is my original pattern and like my idea. So the whole point is that I make these derpy birds, and they're kind of like little bowling pins. They do sit up. And then I don't have a ton of the accessories right now because I'm going to make a ton of accessories probably this week before the show. But I make like little hats and purses and bandanas, headbands, bows. I make a ton of accessories for them. So my customers can pick their bird, they can pick their accessories, and they have like a whole thing. And I have a lot of return customers who pick like different accessories for them. Depending on like the holiday season and stuff, I make like different colors. So it's really fun to see how everybody like makes the outfits, I guess would be the best way to say it. But this week I made a bunch of the little yellow ducklings slash chicks and some little mallard ducks. And we've got, let's count them. So let's count the mallards first. I think, yes. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm just gonna kind of pile them. We have a lot, guys. We have a lot. Okay. And then the little ducks. Oh god. 1. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sorry, they're gonna fall. So that is everything. As I said last week, this is my full-time job. I am a small business that focuses on handmade gifts and crafts. So if you also crochet, or even if you're starting out your small business or side hustle, you do not by any means have to produce this many things per week. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different pace. I wasn't even doing this a few years ago when I started selling my crochet creations. This is where we're at now. You know, after years of like figuring out how to find a balance between working, taking breaks, making sure I don't hurt my wrists or anything, things like that. That's the little disclaimer. But either way, this is everybody for the week. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. If you did stay till the end, I'm gonna absolutely copy an idea that I've seen from other crocheters and from other YouTubers. Go ahead and leave a little, what should we do? You know what? Let's leave a squid emoji if you made it all the way to the end, since these guys are, I think, the biggest makes of the week. We've lost a duck. That's okay. Goodbye! Thank you guys so much. Remember to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I will have my usernames on the bottom of the screen / in the description. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. I'm excited to see you guys in the future in the next video. Thank you so much.